welcome to Let's Talk Diz, a show that gives you everything you need to know to help make your Disney vacation as magical as it can be in just around 15 minutes. I'm your host, Jeff Coviello, and with me each week is Disney Master Sandy from Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services. Sandy, how are you this week?
I'm doing great, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing great, and so I thought it would be fun to talk about our tagline at the end of every show, keep making memories. This week's show is all about memories. It's about Memory Maker. So let's just start off like a bullet out of a gun. Tell us everything we need to know. What is Memory Maker?
It is your everything. It is the photo and video captures from your vacation and from every part of your vacation. From stopping at that photographer to get that iconic shot in front of the castle, to the picture that they get of you while you're riding something like Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger Spin, or Space Mountain, to magic shots and videos and character photos. It's all your memories rolled into one.
So let's digest that for a second there. You said it's everything that you could possibly imagine. How do we keep track of something like that? As somebody that goes to the park, I'm getting my picture taken all over the place. How do I make sure that it goes where it's supposed to go? How do I see it later on? How does all of it work?
So if you're an on-site guest, you've got that magic band, that thing that everybody first thought was Disney's version of a Fitbit. That's kind of what it looks a little bit like. And if you're an off-site guest, you can purchase that or use your ticket to keep track. The nice thing with the magic bands, stays on your wrist, simple scan. They'll get you for all those photos. And when you're doing a ride photo, or we're even going to talk about some ride videos, it's just going to ping that RFID chip within your band and magically everything's going to appear.
So it actually goes into your My Disney Experience app.
That's correct. Everything that they take will be in your My Disney Experience app. And if you've used Memory Maker before, but you haven't used it recently, I have to tell you, they used to, again, photography has come a long, long way. They used to shoot on digital cards and they would tell you that your photos will be there within 2 to 3 hours of taking the picture. Now, my photos have mostly uploaded in less than 5 minutes. You'll get a little ping on your app that you have new pictures to look at, and you're good to go.
It is definitely that quick, I will say. This past recent year, I was fortunate or foolish enough to run the Walt Disney World Marathon, and one of the things that was open during the marathon was Expedition Everest, and I wrote it, and I had my magic band on, and I tapped it, and it was there definitely by the time I was finished with running that I could see it. So it definitely is very quick. Let's talk about the discounts. You know, as far as paying for such a thing, how does that all shake out? Who's got discounts? What are they? How does it work?
So I'm going to tell you up front, it's going to sound like it's a lot. And it took me a little bit to totally get on board with why there's just such amazing value. So the package itself is $199. That's anything from a 2-day trip to a 29-day trip is going to be $199 if you decide to get it after you've already arrived on property because you didn't think it was worth it up front. But if you purchase it up front, it's $169. They've got that $30 discount in there. And one of the ways that I like to view it when I'm talking to clients about it, especially people who haven't been to Walt Disney World, is are you the person when you're at Hershey Park or Six Flags that you buy those ride photos? Because if you normally buy the ride photos, chances are you're going to buy them in Walt Disney World. $18.95 a photo. That means if you bought just under 9 ride photos and 2 per park, if you're there for a week, really isn't a lot. That's more expensive to buy 9 individual photos than to get the thousands that you're going to get with your Memory Maker purchase.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm old enough to remember the picture at the end of Splash Mountain that we bought, or at the end of Pirates when we all dressed up like pirates. Like, I remember those things, and now you're saying it can be all wrapped into this Memory Maker experience.
And you can still buy it that way, $18.95 a photo, or you can wrap it all in. The other thing that I love about the Memory Maker is my parents are great with technology. So I would give them the log on to my Disney experience. I do post on social media a little bit while we're traveling. I do give them some photos, but they're super happy to log on to the computer multiple times a day and check out all of our photos. I don't post every photo we get. And so while they do definitely come with me to the park sometimes, they don't always want to come. And they can live our trip throughout the day by checking out where we've been through the Memory Maker photos.
And one of the things that I've found is helpful too, because we just took a big trip with my family and we have the Memory Maker tied to our annual pass. And we'll get to that in a second. You know, we were able to download all of the photos from the trip and put them into a shared Google Drive folder that anybody has access to. And it's just something that you just never lose at that point.
And I think that's a great thing to talk about as well. We do a lot of family trips, 2 and 3 siblings with their spouses and children, grandma and grandpa's along. One Memory Maker will cover everybody in your family. So 3, 4, 5 rooms, you all kick in $30 and you're set.
So you talk about kicking in money, right? So you gave us what the price is. Let's go back to, I guess, where I jumped the gun a little bit there. What are any kind of discounts that are available for the Memory Maker experience?
So we've got the $199 purchase price, and then there's 5 different purchase options. $169 if you purchase it in advance. $98 as a special thank you to all of our military families. For me, I always say it's the whole military family that serves, because it's not just the person out there serving. So great discounts for them at Walt Disney World, Memory Maker, park passes, and resorts. If you've only got a single day in Walt Disney World, you can do the single day Memory Maker for $69. And if you purchase an annual pass, it's free. Those are all of our Walt Disney World options. I'm going to divert a minute and talk about pricing at Disneyland. The service is the same, but the pricing is a little bit different. Disneyland, because a lot of people are local in Disneyland, or Disneyland might be a 2 or 3 day destination, not a 7-day like Walt Disney World, since we've only got 2 parks out there. You pay a daily per person fee that gives you what they call Max Pass, and you should definitely check out. We have an article on our blog devoted to understanding Max Pass. It's their version of Fast Pass and Memory Maker. It all rolls into one. And that's $15 per person per day in Disneyland. So out on the West Coast, it's based on how many people and how long you're there. In Walt Disney World, everybody gets the package for your whole trip for that one flat rate. Free with the annual pass, $98 for military, $169 advance purchase, and $199 if you didn't think you really wanted it and then you love the pictures. And I'm going to tell you why you're going to want it. The photographers are great. They're happy to take your camera. They'll take the shots for you. But that works only if we're taking a shot in front of Magic Kingdom. Memory Maker is so much more than just that ride photo that you can't take your own camera and get your photo that way, or the character photo.
You also may do what I do from time to time, is we only take maybe one phone to the parks, right? And so because we spend so much time plugged in, and so there's a lot of time that I like to just not have it with me. And having this particular service allows me to get those photos of my entire family on vacation without having to feel tethered to the rest of the world. Which I think is invaluable. All right. So you told us how much it was. We talked a little bit about what types of things it applies to. What do you get? Give us examples of things that maybe we have discussed or we haven't discussed.
So most people, if you're there for a week, you're going to come home and you're going to have well over 1,000 photos to download. I say to people, definitely, if you paid for it, take advantage of it. And people are like, oh my God, I can't stop 1,000 times. That's way too much time out of my vacation. That is true. We're not looking for you to stop 1,000 times. But when you're in front of the castle or the Tree of Life, they're going to take anywhere from 8 to 15 shots. Maybe you do a family shot, maybe you do kids only, maybe you do adults only. And then they get into what I call magic shots, which I love. And again, magic shots are something you can't do on your own. They might say to your youngest child while you're standing in front of the Tree of Life, cradle your arms like you're holding a baby. And you all kind of get this funny look, and they tell you just to go along with it. 10 minutes later, your phone pings that you've got a new photo and you're quick to look at it. Instead of you just standing there with nothing in your arms, you're now holding baby Simba. Or you're on the Magic Kingdom, you're on Main Street in Magic Kingdom, and they tell everybody, point to the ground. And you see nothing on the ground. But when you get that magic shot back, the ground is all crumbled and Stitch is popping up to photobomb you guys. So I love that magic part to it. It also, in addition to the ride photos, they're starting to add ride videos. Check out your face while you're riding Tower of Terror or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in this adorable little video.
That's interesting. I have not yet seen that. That's cool. I mean, it's especially as a video guy, that's very, very cool. One last thing. I wanted to ask you. You plan a ton of vacations for people. If you really had to suggest this to anybody, do you find that there's a particular group, or do you think this is something that you just end up suggesting, with a cost analysis for most people that you work with?
As long as you're there 3 days or more, it's the 2-day people that are hard, but single day is usually worth it. 3 days or more, it's worth it for everybody. You get some phenomenal photos that you wouldn't get otherwise. It also comes with a full copyright release. So just so we're clear, you're not getting any actual photos. You're getting digital download and copyright release. So I've taken those photos and made holiday cards out of them. I've put them on mugs for gifts for grandparents and things. I made a canvas out of one of them that I loved. The more people you are, the lower the cost if you're all sharing it. But when we do those big trips and I'm there with my parents and my siblings and nieces and nephews, trying to corral, 10, 12, 15. I've got a family going next week. There's 28 of them.
Oh my good golly.
What amazing ways to get those memories. Because again, my greatest souvenir is the memories I make. And I have to tell you, faces as they're riding Buzz Lightyear, the intense scrutiny as everybody's highly competitive in our family. Those are some great memories to have. So again, it's such a inexpensive add-on when you think about what you're getting for it, that I'm happy to save my $30 with the pre-purchase all the time. I think it's great for everybody.
I also think the one thing that I'll mention too, it almost forces you to slow down at certain points. You go to a Disney vacation and you're trying to get as much done as you possibly can, but then you see a photographer on Main Street USA, or you see a photographer in front of the Millennium Falcon on Batu, and it just makes you think, you know what? I'm here to make a memory. Let's stop and take a picture. And I think, they're properly placed so that we remember why we're there. What else do we need to know? Anything about Memory Maker that we haven't discussed that you think is important for the audience to hear?
I would just say a quick last thing. Maybe the week before you're heading there, or even on the airplane, hop onto Facebook. Disney Photopass service has their own page. Pick photos and albums. They have one album per park of all the currently available magic shots. Sometimes you have to kind of seek them out. Sometimes you might have to ask the photographer for the magic shot. But if you want your picture, there's one I love in Morocco. You hold your hands up and you get the genie lamp. The available magic shots do change. There are currently 52 different ones available. Pop in, get that extra magical memory for yourself.
That's good to know. Thanks for taking the time, Sandy. We appreciate it.
You bet. We'll talk next week. Thanks, Jeff.
And that's a wrap this week on Let's Talk Diz. Be sure to reach out to the folks at Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services for any Disney destination planning. Make it a great week, and as always, keep making memories.